Now, there's been a huge influx of artists to Margate in recent years, and it's transformed parts of the town. The Turner Gallery has, of course, established itself as a major attraction, and this year is hosting the Turner Prize, whose winner will be announced tomorrow. But there's a rather different side to Margate as well. Some of the most deprived communities in the country are there, and many of them feel completely left behind by the town's artistic regeneration. But that is starting to change in places, thanks in part to an unusual project that sees local kids given the chance to be creative. In a moment, we'll be having a chat with the organiser, Ayan. But first, this from our arts correspondent, David Silito.
Hey kids, ahoy!
Meet the Despacito art group, and this, the Roundup. And it all began when a group of artists moved into the area and the kids in the street wanted to join in.
Basically, we used to be in that building over there when we first moved to London in 2017, and they were all knocking, off the road please! No, 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 off the road. First of all, whose house is that?
So they just knocked on the door?
They literally knocked consistently. I can show you the door, and they were screaming to the letterbox, let us in, want to do art.
The background to this? Margate's booming community of artists. Even the old Woolworths has been taken over. And then there's the other Margate. Cliftonville is one of the most deprived neighbourhoods in Britain. It's also very diverse. Sorting out the parental permissions for this filming was quite a job.
Czech, Slovak, Russian, Polish, Bulgarian, and then obviously English. So 6 languages in one form.
So you speak like 3 languages, don't you?
4.
4?
English.
English, Czech, Slovak,
Gypsy.
and Gypsy.
And the reaction to this new population? These streets have been a focus of some uncomfortable attention. There's been conflict. But in the art group, it's fun and it's safe. There are strict rules, and it's a place for quiet, private conversations with some friendly adults.
No one bullies you here.
Because there's rules.
And at the end, it's back to the fun stuff, showing off the artwork. This is Dimitri's upside-down water droplet.
It's all part of the water cycle except the start.
With river leaf and tree. You know, it's evaporation
And all that stuff.
These conversations matter. Margate is changing fast, and new arrivals always bring new issues. But at least Open School East is a place to talk it over.
We're the one guaranteed outcome that they have, where they can come, be creative, have an outlet, let off some steam, but we also talk to them about life and discuss things with them.
See you soon.
And with that, it was goodbye to the children of the Despacito Art Club. David Silito.
Walk like a human, thank you.
Margate.
Let's have a chat with Ayan. She's with us now. It's a really unusual sort of setup, this, isn't it? Because it all kind of happened by accident.
Yes, so Open School East relocated from London to Margate in 2017, and there was a little courtyard area, more like a drive where cars could park and stuff. So the landlord omitted to tell us that the local kids used it as a private playground. So we moved in, they started knocking on the door, we couldn't get any work done. One day we let them in, and they discovered they were in art school, and that was basically the beginning of this 2.5-year long love story.
To become students.
Yeah, it wasn't so much art, so they literally like, we love art, what are you going to do for us? So we managed to get funding, and here we are.
And it's so much more than just the art, isn't it, what you provide for them?
Oh, absolutely. It's about, I think, when you look from outside looking in, you see a bunch of crazy artists going to somebody's house, taking their kids, taking them to an art school. But it is about building confidence. It's about taking them out of this particular locale in Cliftonville and taking them into Margate, taking them to Turner Contemporary, taking them to Theatre Royal Margate, allowing them to work and interact with world-class artists, and doing art in a way that the schools does not do in this country at the moment.
Because where the project is actually one of the poorest streets in the whole of the UK. Isn't it?
Yep. When we moved in, when Open School East landed there, it was the second poorest street in the second poorest ward. The poorest street in the second poorest ward, and now it's the 4th poorest ward because obviously regeneration is happening. But the family, some of the families are really struggling, and some are quite okay. But is that juxtaposition between people like me coming from London and having education and having language and access to information, and then dealing with an immigrant community that doesn't have any or barely any support at all.
And what difference have you seen in those kids that you've got to know over the last couple of years?
Well, I think the main thing is basically that they feel confident, that they claim that they are artists, that they have value, because there's been times when we walk down the road and people are shouting racial abuse at them because they call them gypsies or travellers or the N-word and all kinds of other offensive words. Happened to me walking with the kids, happened as I'm knocking on somebody's door, I turn around and there's two men shouting abuse at the children, and then I have to kind of choose my position. I have to defend the kids, but also have to keep them safe, so I can't do too much. But it's about finding that barrier, but I have to speak up, because if I don't speak up for them and they look up to me, they will think it's acceptable for them to be abused.
How about you personally? Because you came down from London to kind of find a bit of peace and quiet, didn't you? Have you actually found it?
Exactly. I was hired to be a communications manager, but the kids came, they took over the school, they took over our lives, and they basically dictate how the school runs. But it's also been really helpful because they've allowed us to develop an ethos that is really about community engagement in a way that, I do outreach work at least 5 to 8 hours a week. Guaranteed, because I have to go see the families, have to talk to them, we have to get forms translated, Bulgarian, English, Russian, Polish, Slovak, Czech, Gypsy.
We need to do a half-hour documentary with you.
They're lucky to have you.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thanks
Thank
for
you
being
so
with us.
much.